camera got all messed up here. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another high-powered episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder, coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. I'm joined by nobody tonight because King James got sick. But, you know, it was one of those things I just wanted to come live. I was trying to get a guest on that invented this master electrician app. And he has some little snafu going on with NFPA. So I kind of know a little bit about what's going on with the whole thing. And, you know, like I say, we're going to kind of just do a little bit of audio, kind of talk about the myth of the week, and kind of talk about just some things that are going on in the electrical industry for 2026. So I kind of had this audio piped in. Might be a little bit of a short show tonight, but I'm gonna try to see if I can run it the same way King James does. And you know, like I say, I got the myth of the week. I don't know if I have the right one. You know, like here's the myth of the week. You know, there. See, I got the. Where is the? Yeah, there's some kind of a, is it this one? Let me see. Yeah, I don't have that. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to go through it. Whatever media thing. So let's see. We have. All right. So we have myth of the week. We have meme of the week. So let me check this out. Let me see. Alright, so I could do that one. Let's see. Meme of the week. So yeah, I pretty much have all of the, let's see, we'll put this one. Put that over there. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of run through some audio that I got this week, and let's see, where are my comments, comments are there. Alright, so I appreciate you guys being, you know, a little patient with me just because I'm not always running the show by myself. I had a really awesome time last time I ran the show by myself. I had Bryce Nesbitt and I had David Englehart, so you can always go back and look at that episode. It's really awesome to have guests just jump in here, and you know, like I say, I am really honored that there's guests that want to come on this show and talk about their products and different stuff like that. And Jason was just trying not to get in trouble, which I agree with. So you're welcome on here anytime, Jason. Appreciate you, you know, showing interest to come on the show. So that means a lot. And this week we are going to go in straight into the myth of the week. Here we go. Let me see if I can fire that up. Myth of the week.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
Alright, so this week, let me get that out of there. This week we're just going to kind of do some audio. This might be a little bit of a short show. I'm just going to kind of go through this change for 2026. It was based on wiring devices, and these guys start realizing that they have a problem. Let me see. Didn't really check my sounds too good. Yeah. Alright, there's for you, Daniel. Got it in there already. So, like I say, so this is audio from Tommy D. If you guys don't know, check out his podcast. It's on Tuesday. It's on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, and he does a really good job. But there's a lot of things in this audio that you could just tell. It's kind of scary for somebody that's writing code and stuff. He's on Code Making Panel 2, Code Making Panel 10, I believe. He's a really good electrical engineer. But there's a lot of things that he gets wrong in this audio, so I really want you guys to hear this. Let's start this up.
One, and I think this was added, if I'm not mistaken, I think the not covered one was added last cycle, and it was the wireless control equipment. And honestly, the wireless control equipment was put in because of a change we made in Chapter 2. Remember what we did in 210.70? In 210.70, let's go up.
So I have this really funny story about 210.70. So when they first put it in there, it basically mentions that you have to have exterior illumination for an exit, and so it's like an exterior exit. And so it's really funny. They used to have these bomb shelters back in the day, and you would have like this whole shelter that was like underneath your house, and you would have this exit stairwell that would come out, and you'd have this bomb doors that you'd open. And then I think it was in 2020, or I want to say it was in 2020, they said that you had to have egress illumination for this thing. So I posted a post on Facebook, and I had just a picture of an installation that was sent to me by this gentleman, Jason Williams, really cool guy out of Seattle. And he was like, hey, post this up there and see if you can find any violations. And there really wasn't. I mean, you could have said, oh, well, he didn't have expansion for the PVC or something. Like, there was a lot of things you could have said, but there wasn't a blatant code violation. And it was a emergency transfer generator install that Jason did over there in Seattle. He told me a lot of information about it, and I posted it up there, and I said, hey, can anyone get the violation on this? And they were just going, all these top code guys were going in there. They were trying, they couldn't come up. They were trying everything. And so at the end of it, that's what I referenced was 210.70, because there wasn't exterior illumination for the bomb shelter. And there was, you couldn't even see it in the picture. It was so funny. Like, they got so mad at me, but it was a lot of fun. And I got a lot of experts pretty mad at me, so we'll keep going.
210, here's another really cool feature of NFPA Link. I can right mouse click and hit open a new tab. It opens a new tab, and it'll open it on 210. Where I wanted it, 210.70. Remember what we did here? We said at least one lighting outlet controlled by a wall switch or a listed wall-mounted control device. And this listed wall-mounted control device are the wireless. Like, I can, for example, I can control my lights from my phone. So I can, let's do this. Let's do this. I've got the Hue app on my phone, and I'll look at the basement library, my library in my kitchen back there. I can turn those lights off right from my phone. I can turn off the lamps right from my phone. Now all of those lights are off. They've got power to the lamp itself.
So that is actually incorrect. There is not power to the lamp. obviously Tommy doesn't know how this works. The way these lights work is you actually have a power pack. The power goes to the power pack, then the switch leg goes to the luminaires from the power pack. So the power pack is controlling the power. So those lights are effectively disconnected. Now, that is not an electrically safe work condition. So any of you apprentices out there, if you think that you can just lock out power to the power pack and it be an electrically safe work condition, that would not be correct. The lamps themselves are effectively de-energized, but that's not an electrically safe work condition until you lock out the power source to that power pack. So that's just a clarification.
But I can control these wirelessly. Now you can get these control units that are, I call it lick and stick it to the wall, and they're most of those are Bluetooth right to the lights or to a controller up there. But I can control my lights from a wireless application. And when that happened, the guys and gals over in the switch department in 40, I gotta go back to that. In 404, which 404 was put out to 40, what did I say, 406? They said, look, we don't cover, because then somebody was asking, what are the requirements for the wireless devices that we put on the lick and stick ones? What are the requirements for them? And the 404 guys were saying, and gals were saying, I don't know. I don't govern that. I don't have anything to do with that. It's wireless. It's battery operated. So why would I put an installation requirement if I'm not connecting it to the power distribution system? So they went back and forth. So they put this language in 404.1, and if I go back to the 2020 code, let's go to the 2020 code.
See, I really like how Tommy does this. Big shout out to you, Tommy. He's teaching us to fish in these, and so it's teaching us to go in there, find out what they did and everything. And what I've been doing is I've been going in there and submitting these public inputs and saying, you know what, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And that's why these guys are a little mad at me, because I'm just saying, you know what, you guys are wrong. And, you know, that's the thing they don't like. But at the same time, it's like I'm just basically calling them out, like, hey, there's no way this could be right. And
the other nice thing,
big shout out to you, Tommy,
about the other nice thing about NFPA Link is we can go back in time. So this is the 2020 code, and then I'm going to pull up the 2023 code. There's 404. This article does not cover wireless control equipment to which circuit conductors are not connected. So this happened during the 2023 code cycle. They maintained it in the 2026 code, but they took out the wiring, the snap switches, so to speak. So now let's see if 406 put that same language in. Let's go to the scope. This article covers a rating, type, and installation of wiring devices, which is a defined term. So wiring devices, let's go to Article 100. What's the definition of a wiring device? Do you see this navigation? Do you see this journey that we're on? Let's go to wiring devices. Wiring devices. There's a wiring device. A wiring device is an electrical device with a yoke or used with flexible cord or cable that serves as either a connection point to facilitate the flow of current or as a control device in general distribution and branch circuits. So it has to have a yoke, and it has to be used with flexible cord or cables.
So that language right there basically broke the whole code when it comes to what they changed in 2026. Me and King James talked about this when they put it out. We've been going through the code changes, and I was like, man, that's really, there's gonna be, some stuff that is not gonna be covered in the code. And so, oh look, we have Moss Sports World coming up in here. What's up, brother? And so yeah, King James is sick. So yeah, dude, Avalanche, brother, awesome. But yeah, so yeah, I gotta work on like my mic or something. I think I got like an external mic issue or something I gotta figure out. But like I say, the Cronky Sports should be getting her done tonight, brother. So appreciate you popping in. Thanks so much. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Appreciate you. But what this whole thing comes into is there is going to be code sections that aren't really going to be covered. So Tommy kind of goes into this with the definition.
Does a light switch cover that? Hold on, let's talk about that. Let's go back to the changes made in 4446 created a lot of problems. For example, there are receptacles that do not have a yoke and therefore are not covered by Article 406. Well, 406, I guess wiring device is a new defined term. That's what you're saying. Let's go back to 2023, Chapter 1, Article 100. Go down all the way to the bottom. Is there a definition of a wiring device? Work, wind, wire? No, that is a new term. Well, hallelujah, hallowed be thy name. Look at...
See, and I can't believe that this guy's involved in all the code making process and he doesn't even know that's a new term. What they're trying to do, they're trying to make a really big leap for 2029. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make, they're trying to rearrange the whole entire code. And it's really not going great for them. They're trying to do it, but it's not going great. So, one of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to make the code book expand into all these different chapters. And so that's the whole reason why they're trying to do that, and dude, you were 100% right, Moss. I have to give a big shout out to Nuggets. Got 10 straight wins. That's awesome in the Djokovic era. That's awesome. So, like I say, that's going to be cool. Avalanche, Rams, Avalanche went over there. So, man, you're right. Cronky's going to be a champ this year. It'd be awesome if the Avs and the Nuggets take the title on both sides. That'd be awesome. Basketball and hockey, that'd be so sweet. But we're a long way from that. But anyway, so what they're trying to do is they're trying to pave the way for this 2029 code book that's going to be rearranged. It's really interesting because I was almost thinking about putting in a public input for NXL and being like, don't do this. I mean, it's just weird. It just the way they rearrange the code is weird, and I don't know that they could do it, but we'll see. We will see what happens. So that's the whole reason they're doing this. That's the whole reason why they're changing all this, like putting wiring devices in different places. They can't keep the structure the same. They said, oh, it's old and outdated and stuff, but they can't rearrange it in a correct way. So here's what they keep doing. They're messing it up.
That, an electrical device with a yoke, and that's no yoke, or used with flexible cords, so an electrical device used with flexible cords or cable. So it either has to have a yoke or it could not have a yoke, and it's used with flexible cords and cable that serves as either a connection point to facilitate the flow of current or as a control device in general distribution. Okay, I get where you're coming. So you got a couple issues here. That's a new term. So well, let's do this. Now, if you want to know, let's take a look at this. www.nspa.org/70, okay? And then what we do, this is really bugging me. Then what we do is,
Yeah, I appreciate you joining, David. I don't know what's going on. I think it's like my mic. Something's messed up with my mic because I've been noticing my volume decreasing like every week, and I keep trying to turn it up and stuff, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it this week, and I guarantee I will have better sound next week. So I appreciate you guys staying tight with our show.
there we go. That's what I needed right there. Watch this. Boom. See, now I'm looking the right way. I was mirroring my camera. I did not want to mirror the camera. Okay. So, if we go, now this was new in 2026. So if I go to first draft and hit right mouse click, open new tab, one of the powerful values.
Yeah, and that might be because James isn't here because he actually hosts the show. So when he builds the show together, it's possible that maybe I'm just driving the whole audio, and usually King James drives it, and I'm able to adjust my audio like before the show, so I'm able to like get my mic dialed in and everything. And I didn't have that option this week, David, but I appreciate you joining. Thanks so much, you guys, for supporting the show. It's so much fun doing this and every week, and I appreciate it. I would have probably had you on as a guest this week, David, if I would have known this all happened. You know, it was really awesome. You and Bryce Nesbitt coming on with me last time was a lot of fun.
Of this, I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna log in, and then we're going to go to Article 100, and we're gonna see definitions. We're gonna scroll doly all the way down and see if wiring devices. There it is. There's a new term. There's the FR, first revision.
So, when you guys go in, for a lot of the apprentices out there, when you go into the Article 100, and I just learned this cycle, when you have a new definition that gets put in, it'll actually have an N next to it, and that's a new definition. So I'm not sure, maybe Tommy didn't know that either, but it was kind of interesting because I just learned that this week, that anytime you see a new definition in the code, it'll have an N next to it. That means it's a new definition.
The first revision says an electrical device that serves as either a connection point to facilitate the flow of current or as a control. Okay, so it didn't have the language of a yoke, and it was driven by a public inputs.
If you guys did not get your public input in for 2029, it's too late. The public inputs close today at 5 p.m. Eastern, so too late to get your public inputs in. I got about 3 or 4 in. One of them I was highly hoping would change is I believe it was 625.4 qualified persons. I think that's just ridiculous. There's no reason to have qualified persons in 625 to install EV charging equipment or electrical vehicle service equipment. Just ridiculous. I don't know why they even have that in there. And like, there's no qualified certification program for EBSE, so yeah, that one I'm crossing my fingers on. But I mean, it'll either go either way. I mean, at least we'll have a qualified program. Who knows? Maybe I'll teach the qualified EBSE program and say, oh, you just got to use all the EBSE parts that they give you and do it right.
Chuck Carton from UL. So Chuck is the UL Solutions representative for the standard for wiring devices. Now, they said, let's take a look at what Chuck was.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting, David. And I would want to do a little bit more research on that and see if maybe there could be something where it's like, yeah, you have to be qualified. But typically in this industry, what I've ran across is if, like, you know, I work for a large wireless company. I don't have to be qualified on wireless technology. I just have to know what power it requires and make sure I deliver it safely at you know, continuous load and all that. So that's kind of where I was opposed to it a little bit, you know. And you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, you just go out there, installation instructions, you're qualified, you know. So I don't know. I think either way it goes, I will get a good answer on what's going on with it. But
Recommended.
keep going.
Chuck was saying an electrical device that serves as either a connection point to facilitate the flow of current or as a control device. Informational note, examples of wiring devices include attachment plugs, receptacle, general use snap switch, pendant switch. So that's not a bad defined term. I don't know why they added yoke. So that was the first draft. Now, if you want to see what happened in the second draft, you scroll down a little bit further, your right mouse click, open in a new tab, and bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. One. 100. So they must have made a change in the second draft.
Well, I agree with that, David. That is really awesome in principle. But where does it mention 625.4? So, like, I think that's where my whole argument is that Tesla can say you have to have a certified Tesla installer. They can do that, but where does that come in the NEC? You know, where can the NEC fail you? Like, so let's just say you, as the AHJ, David, you go in and you're like, nope, this wasn't installed by a certified Tesla installer. How do you know? How do you know that information? Like, how do you enforce that? It's unenforceable language, and that's my whole point, you know? So, you know, yeah, it's 110.3b, 100%. But I'm just saying, when it comes to an AHJ, you're out in the field, and, you know, like, I've actually been not an AHJ, I've represented the AHJ before. But what I've done is I go out there and I look at it. If it looks good, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, this doesn't look like it was installed by a Tesla installer. Like, there could be some little quirk that they know, and, you know, like, you know, and Moss can jump in this, and, you know, oh, yeah, there we go, Moss. Always throwing the football in there. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we got Tesla. And, dude, I might need to get him for fantasy next year, man. You know, and that's funny, dude. Yeah, that's good. Oh, Moss jumping in here with the sports. Appreciate you, sir. But, yeah, I mean, in all actuality, that's my objection to it, David, is how do you enforce something that's unenforceable? Like, there's no way that the HJ can guarantee that. I mean, I get it that they're trying to push out the handyman. They're trying to push out the, trunk slammers that come out of state and just install these things. And yeah, dude, I 100% agree, David. I 100% agree. It's weird that, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, yeah, you have the civil case, everything. Well, what happens, David, when the code tells you put it on GFCI and it trips and the old person can't go get their medicine or something? You know what I mean? You want to talk about the civil case? There's civil case on the other side of that. So it's pretty interesting. We'll keep going on this audio, but no, I appreciate you joining in, David, and Moss. Appreciate the sports references, brother.
So I go to W, wiring device. Oh, yeah, they added that word. Look at that. With a yoke or used with flexible cords. So what drove that change? Let's see, who did not like the language? That would have been, it was a committee input. It was not driven by a public comment. Oh wait, here, 549. Chuck Curtin, he said, with a yoke or used with flexible cords. What was his read? On behalf of the courting committee, a task group consisting of panel members. It wasn't him, he chaired a task group. Wiring device definitions has been revised to include with a yoke for clarity.
Yeah, and it's funny because Tommy makes fun of the clarity thing, but they rejected quite a few of my public inputs because they said, doesn't add clarity. One of the ones I submitted was individual branch circuit. I said individual branch circuit connects to one outlet that utilization equipment connects to. And they rejected it, said it doesn't add clarity, and they said it's not necessary that one outlet exists as long as it connects to one piece of utilization equipment. Well, guess what? How many outlets can one piece of utilization equipment connect to? Because I'm pretty sure it's one. But, based on their definition, it's just a point on the wiring system where current is taken to feed utilization equipment. So if you have one piece of utilization equipment, you have 1 point, right? I mean, how many points do you have? So it's 1,000 points of light.
It eliminated all of the confusion. And consistency with definition of yoke. Ooh, a yoke strap is the structural frame of a wiring device. Or used with flexible cord or cable was added to address attachment plugs, cord connectors, and pendant switches, which do not have a yoke. Attachment plugs, cord connectors, and pendant switches. To your point, Ryan, you said that some of these do not have a yoke. All right, so let's do this. Let's go back to, I've heard some stuff. Yes, it's in the 2026. Jason, the or in the defined term would apply to devices without a yoke. Yes. Ryan Jackson says, sure, if it has a cord, what about products like a Bochi-22 receptacle? Bochi-22 receptacle.
So there's these Bochi-22 receptacles that they actually mount in the ceiling, and the base part is the outlet, so to speak, and then the receptacle actually plugs in, and there's no yoke. They don't have a yoke on them, so that's what they're talking about.
Never heard of a Bochi-22. I'm sorry. Hey, I live in a dungeon, in a shell. And then what do we got? Boom. John Ganir says, so based on the definition of a wiring device, Article 406 may not apply to receptacles or switches installed in dwelling units as they are not always connected. Exactly where my head was going. Flexible cords or cables. An NM wire is not a flexible cord or a cable.
So NM wire is a non-metallic sheath cable. That's exactly what the name of it is. So Tommy's 100% wrong on that. But the other thing is that it kind of brings up a little thing. When you sit there and look at this, how are they actually governing this when it comes to, does the cable connect to the wiring device, or is the cable stripped out and the conductors connect to the wiring device? So it's pretty interesting how they're doing this.
So if I have an electrical device that has a yoke, but wait a second. Hold on. Let's look at the language.
Yeah, let's look at the language. Now, you're doing a podcast about what the language says, and let's look at it. So, that whole thing, it's ridiculous. Like I say, I just wanted to kind of come on for a minute, kind of show that audio. Appreciate you popping in, Moss. So awesome, dude. Like I say, it was a good win. Give you congratulations on your fantasy win. You're the fantasy god of all time. Like I say, I've been trying to learn how to play Yahoo a little bit. Dude, I do not like Yahoo. Yahoo sucks. But then we have the ESPN where there's transaction limits. And the thing that I complain about is there's transaction limits for the season. So it should go to unlimited once you get into the postseason, because then it makes it fair, because you're going into the playoffs. So why not just reset it and just make it unlimited for the playoffs, because that's only for the season limits. So cool. That's why I tried to do it the way I did it, and I tried to maybe have one or two for the playoffs or something, but that didn't turn out that way, and I would have beat you if I had more transactions. But no, really good game. Right now, I'm winning the Stanley Cup if I was playing in the Stanley Cup. So that's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun doing fantasy. Appreciate you having me on the Yahoo League, and I'm getting better. I got 9th place 2 years in a row. I didn't get last. So, like I say, I'm trying to improve, trying to get better. I always say the fantasy is not bad if you, try to level up and, like I say, just get better every year, Last year I was 5th place in ESPN. Now I'm 3rd place. So, pretty cool. A lot of fun doing it. Appreciate you guys coming in, joining me. Like I say, we'll have a little bit better show next week. And we'll try to get with Jason and try to figure out what's going on with his licensing thing. And I don't have it set up, David. I'm sorry. Like I say, I could probably figure out how to share screen and do all that and play the things, but it's just I just really can't get it all fired up tonight. Like I say, 40 minutes is pretty good run. I really appreciate, we had a show I did by myself last time King James couldn't make it. And it was me, David Englehart, and Bryce Nesbitt. And we just talked EBSE for 2 hours straight. So that was pretty awesome. But like I say, thanks so much for popping in, David. Dude, you are the man, David. Electrical Code Wizardry. So go check out David Englehart on his page. He is just a sharp inspector and plans examiner. And like I say, I love having experts like you, David, come in, hang out with us, and talk code. So like I say, just a little short show to, kind of get everyone fired up. I had a really cool Willie Quiz lined up. I was going to do the cost of the code books per generation. So what did the original code book cost in today's money? And I think it's going to be interesting, because you'd be really surprised that some of the code books you think are really expensive now, they're actually market value. That's what it costs to print them and sell them and all that. So means a lot. do my pickle shot to Adam. Appreciate you, Adam, for setting up so much stuff for me and King James and the show, coming on as guest, doing collaborative podcasts so much. Appreciate you, Adam. So I'm going to go ahead and end it out. And yeah, sorry you guys. No myth, no meme, and no wall of shame this week. And like I say, it's just King James does such a great job firing him up. And no Daniel either. I see Daniel's like got better things to do. But I really appreciate you guys. It means so much. And dude, big shout out to you, Daniel. Thanks so much. We had a great time at the Rockies game on Sunday and had a good time. So yeah. Good night, David. Good night, everyone. Y'all have a great week. And we will see you next week. And I am getting Chad German on. Talk to him. He said when school's out, he wants to come on. So big shout out to my apprentice. Keeps asking me, like, when's Chad going to be on? He's coming. So we got him. We got him locked in. So appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great week. And remember, make every day an easy day. Peace.